Hello, Combat here. Welcome back to another Decks of the Week video. As always, we're going to start with a new card. Show you a couple of decks of this. I normally try and do 5, but I've only got 3 for Doom because a lot of them are very similar right now. That being said, might be some different decks coming out when people find other ways of just playing it, because I do think it's just like a decent enough card where you go put this on 4 and then you have Doom as your 6th drop, and then everything else doesn't really matter as long as you're not playing like a cheap deck where you want to play multiple cards. You'll be fine. Honestly, this card kind of lived up to the hype. I do think it might be in for a little nerf. It's a weird one because it is a strong card, but it's strong because of how simple it is, if you get what I mean. Like, you can just play this, like, I don't know, get that on 3 or 4, and then the rest of your turns doesn't really fully matter, right? If you get this out on 3, turn 4 and 5 don't really matter much as long as you're only playing one card, right? Like, obviously there's cards you can play that make it stronger, you know, you can Blue Marvel it and stuff like that. Right, and then your 6, you normally have a lot of power. You Doom if you need more power, or you got another 6 drop if you want to like tech it up with a Goliath, or maybe like a Magneto, or if you War Machine deck and a big stat. So it is it's a simple card and it's kind of strong. So I don't know, it might get a nerf, might not. I'm not sure. Depends what the stats look like. Honestly, I rate this card probably 4 out of 5. If you don't have it, I'd probably buy it with tokens. The spotlight keys it's with are kind of doo-doo. It took me 4 keys and I was upset about it, but you know, is what it is. So let's look at the deck, shall we? So 1 second, let me switch the screen back. There, first deck went with the War Machine type deck, right? The War Machine's only really in here so you can play your Infinite, right? The Storm, if you get it out early, it's fine, right? If you like Zabu it and get it out early, it's fine, but Storm on 5 doesn't really do anything, right? And if you low roll a Doom, so your War Machine is pretty much in here for the Infinite, right? Or if you don't get your Doom out, any more stuff. But yeah, pretty decent deck. Next up we have ongoing stuff. I haven't really tried it with Captain America yet. I seen this list and I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense, because Captain America gives you other ongoing, so you get your Doom bots out and you get buffed up, right? And then you've got everything else. You got to be careful, Super Skrull will mess you up, right? Because you are ongoing. This is the one downside of a lot of Super Skrull out there right now, so you know, got leading into ongoing is a little awkward if you're not running your own Super Skrull. Next up we have the ramp. Honestly, probably one of the better ways of doing it, because it also gives you extra power in some of the big cards, right? You know, your Electro, you can get some big stuff out, you can Doom, Iron Lad to get the Doom out, Gore to get big. Like, you've got other ways of going big, it's not just on the Doom, which, you know, probably works out. And that's it for the Doom decks. Now I'll just show you 5 other decks that are doing really well in the ladder right now. So first up, we have just a Hope Galactic type stuff, right? You want to get your Galactor out, you can buff up your kitties, or Copycat, Mockingbird, whatever, right? You bounce on your Hope a little bit, you get big, right? So pretty decent, kind of lowish curve, right? Because you're never really playing Mockingbird or Sasquatch for 6, right? You're probably going to drop in the stereo, half the cost of both of these two, right? You can Mysterio on 5 with a kitty and someone else, right? You can get these down to like 1-2 costs and drop a lot of power in the last turn. 5 is a clog type stuff. We've got Fina to get big, US Agent to deal with any of the big stuff, Goblins, Debris, Titania, Red Guardian, Viper, Copycat, Cannonball. I did a different version of this yesterday as my deck, but any type of clog stuff works. I like the idea of it. I had like a Fenris, Shang-Chi type stuff, right? So I could steal some of it, but you know, it is what it is. Next up, we have another cheap cost deck. This is kind of really cheap cost. This is Agent Venom. This is why I put this in here, because I've seen Agent Venom, and when I did my meta list the other day, I realized I hadn't really seen much Venom since his nerf, and I said like it was one of those situations where I think they got the nerf just right, even though there was a lot of hate on it when it happened, because he gained 1 power on his card but lost 1 power on his effect. People are like, it's not going to make any difference, but it did. it really made a difference, right? Went from being everywhere to barely being seen. So he's in here. You've got Havoc to get big. You've got your Red Guardian to stop the Doom stuff, right? Or try and stop some Doom stuff. Sage, Cassandra, everything pretty small. Okay, probably should have put a different deck because we already had a small deck, but a different way of doing it. Next up we have Ajax. There's a lot of toxic stuff in here, right? Again, you could be in a bit of trouble because of a lot of Luke Cage, a lot of Super Scrub, but again, you've got Red Guardian to deal with that, right? You aim for it. Pretty standard deck. The deck hasn't really changed much recently. Been the same, and it's just really strong. Whenever I see it, I like, yeah, you know, show it off. And lastly, probably my favorite deck on the list is a discard. It's more of an aggressive type discard. You got Gambit and Moon Knight with Fenris, right? You could just go passive discard. I say passive discard, it's like standard stuff, but you don't really care what your opponent's doing, right? You're just doing your own thing. Like, you know, you just discarding your cards. You don't really care. Where this one, you've got the options of looking what they're doing and trying the snipe stuff, right? You can go Gambit, Moon Knight, and get your Fenris out, and bam, right? So you save your Moon Knight, you Gambit for turn 6, and then if you've only got a pocket hand, you know, discard them both, destroy some of Fenris, brings them back. This is the way I like discard. This is how I want discard to be, where it's like you're not just discarding your own cards and just ignoring it. So I'm looking forward to Bullseye next month. I think it's Bullseye. Should be interesting for some discard stuff. Like Bullseye, I believe, deals negative power based on your discards or something like that. I can't remember. I'll have to look at it. I'm pretty sure it changed once or twice. Anyways, enough rambling. Please enjoy the video and don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you tomorrow for another video.